All right, hey, we're here with Nacho Dave, and we're at CNC Collision Center, and we're here to grab the Nova.
So one thing about whenever you have these things stripped down to the bone, you find all of its little dirty secrets. You know, I remember years back, a buddy of mine had his 67 that was a finished car. They decided, because they had Bondo stuff come back, to have it redone. And whenever they sandblasted it, they found rolled up wire to hold patches that they had used and then Bondoed over it. So I was kind of curious, even though this has been in my family since it was new, you know, I was kind of curious because the car had obviously been repainted. And so we found some telltale signs that, you know, my Uncle Steve never wrecked it, so it had to be an Aunt Irene. And
it might have been a cover-up job.
Yeah, so
if the truth comes out, we'll let you know.
Well, Aunt Irene's no longer with us, so I think she took this one to the grave with her. But we got some Bondo right here. You can see the Bondo, and whenever you look over at the door is too whole stripe. So that's normally a good sign that somebody's ran the car down the side of something.
Now, new body line in it.
We were talking to Daniel over here at CNC, and he said, you know, this is factory filled lead, where you see these areas here, and it's on both sides where they probably seam the roof on, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I actually attached the roof to the pillars, so.
We got a little bit of rust right here in the door jamb, which is not bad. You know, obviously we have some, you can't see the floor pans right now, but really we have minimum rust in the floor pan. We can probably patch it if we wanted to, but I'm not willing to do a patch job. This is a car I plan on keeping forever, so.
Firewall on this thing looks super, super nice.
Yeah, it's not beat up at all,
like,
you know.
really, really nice and smooth, so.
But keep in mind, this is a 70,000 mile original car, you know, like.
Yeah.
So
this should look brand new.
You can see, here's where the rust was in the floor pans. It's really kind of kicked down there on the toe board. And there's a little bit in there, but it's not bad. I mean, the floor pans were still pretty solid, but I still bought a complete pan, and we're going to drop it off over with Jay at Jay's Custom Fab, and he's going to put the pan and the trunk pan and the mini tubs in it. And honestly, it'll probably go back to him after that for him to set up the 4-link and do all the suspension in the rear. And of course, we also got the dent right here in the back. If you look at it, it kind of swoops in like that. Well, the bumper does too, and that's a good sign that somebody backed into something or somebody bumped into it in a parking lot or something. But
we're not going to talk a lot about the hood because the hood's not going to fit with the power pump.
Yeah, you know, it's in good shape. I'll keep it.
It's great.
But we did get that Glass Tech hood, which is a bubble, and I'm still on the fence of how it's going to look on the car. But I ordered it because honestly, it was the best thing I could find that didn't look really, really squarish and old. You can see everything. Everything's primered. So we got a pretty good bare bones here to get started.
Yeah, it's a good foundation to start with. We're not taking a car that's been hacked and cut or anything. We're taking a good original Survivor.
It's going to be a beautiful car.
It's going to be a good looking car, boy.
I can't wait.
Good looking car.
All right, well, let's go drop it off at home, grab some barbecue, and get back to work. All right, so we are headed to Jay's Custom Chassis, and he is going to put floorboards and trunk pans in the Nova. So we're about to roll in here. We're going to get the Nova unloaded off the trailer, set up on the rotisserie, drop all the goodies off, the floor pans and all that fun stuff. So stay tuned. What's up? We're recording. Anything you can't see in here?
Oh, good.
All right. Smells like paint. Doing some painting?
Just some touch-up stuff.
Might be easier to back up, kind of slide the front end on the rolling cart there, and just the sandblasting really showed the pitting, didn't it? Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it's toe board, floor, and trunk pan.
Okay. Well, I ain't worried about putting
I ain't worried
about it then. Okay.
Yeah, the only thing we're worried about is rockers, really, huh?
Yeah.
And then what? Pick the front end up and then.
Go push it.
Okay, right there? Or are we going all the way to the ground?
Let it down.
Okay.
Sitting on them.
Sitting on those poles.
Little posts. That's all right. That'll get it inside.
Looky there.
Too easy.
Should we strap it down so it don't fall and hit the quarters?
No, we're gonna roll it right.
Oh, we're gonna do. All right, let me pull out the way. Now, Harper, there's no way Roger's going to get out of this without bleeding. And whenever he starts bleeding, you got to capture that.
I'll open up that door. I'll pull that golf cart out. And
Okay.
everything else in that thing.
Yeah, that's my storage unit. I had to clean it out instead of having to deal with that big old stacker. So I moved it all to my little dirt bike trailer.
That'll work. As long as it-
Now, this is a high quality rotisserie right here. Huh? Sure, come on in. That caster came off this one.
Yep.
Well done, Tate.
Well, that smash pulled it. Right down.
I'm going to do a quick walk around here. You can see the holes in the floor. We did, didn't we? That's sweet.
Flashbacks to my brother-in-law.
Man, this car, like, it was like, whenever I seen it in primer, I was like, all right, it's pretty solid. I was reading on the Nova boards where they were talking about the guys that are putting the pans in these things that didn't brace it up. The doors wouldn't line up and all that mess, and it was just, you know, from the guys doing it themselves, not knowing what they were doing. That's something I would have done.
Yeah, well, I'll probably end up welding an X-bracing it.
What's that?
I'm Brian.
Hey, I'm Dave.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
That's my nephew-in-law, Brian.
So this is going to be what I'm working with pretty quick.
Is it top secret?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a 15-1 555, and I want to put a plate on it. So I'm going to ask you what plate of yours to run with this intake. Can we pull that tape off?
Yeah, can we pull the tape off?
Yes.
The sniper? That's gonna be a Stinger 3. We'll look and verify.
Jay.
How you doing, buddy?
So it's an alcohol deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to run it on alcohol.
It's basically a bracket car that we might run some.
Just
index
a little
stuff.
bump,
Yeah, like 200, no bump.
right? Yeah, Stinger 3 will work good on that. So it'll rest down here, and it'll spray it down each runner. But you could get away with a Stinger 2 too if you're only going to spray it 200 or 300 horsepower. So the Stinger 2 is going to hit about right here all the way around,
Yeah.
and then it's going to let it pull it in.
Okay.
So either one will work good. If you told me you were going to spray 700-800 horsepower, I'd say Stinger 3 all day long.
Okay.
But Stinger 2 would do everything you need it to do.
Okay, so Stinger 2 is fine.
Uh-huh.
Now, I read a lot on your website about jetting and whatnot to go with those kids.
Uh-huh.
And Jay tells me that I have to add a different fuel source. We can't run nitrous with alcohol. Is that true?
No, you can. You can. Especially with the little amount you're doing. Yeah, I've sprayed about as much as 400 or 500 horsepower on alcohol.
Okay. I know back in the day.
Back in the day, it was like voodoo to everybody.
It's
And
like the fifth person to say, "Oh man, you got to run extra fuel," you know?
yeah, no. So a lot of people will take and run a. It depends. So I'm different. I don't like mitts and gases because so there's two different methods reading plugs on alcohol versus fuel, right? So what some people will do is they'll put an auxiliary fuel tank and they'll put leaded fuel in with it, and that's their comfort zone.
Right.
You know, so it really comes down to what y'all's comfort zone is tuning. With me, I would run, if I were setting the car up, I'd run it all off alcohol, and I would just have a fuel log with a fuel regulator for the carburetor, fuel regulator for the nitro system.
Okay.
And so that way you can come in, and let's say you just need to give it a half pound of fuel, you can do it and not affect your carburetor tune-up
Okay.
or take away. I also like to start my tune-ups at 7 psi instead of 5. A lot of people are used to 5, but I like to start at 7 because then you got room to take fuel out or put it back without doing a jet change.
I would much rather have more fuel than not enough.
Right. It looks good. You gonna do some grudge racing, or what are you gonna do?
It's gonna be a bracket car that every now and then I might go do some heads up.
Okay.
That's why I want to be able to spray it just a little bit.
Yep.
They say it's gonna. He says it ought to run 520s, 30s pretty easy.
I would think so.
So maybe if we can spray it into
This
5.0.
thing's gonna be like 2,600.
It's a good looking car.
Don't weigh nothing.
Well, Jay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It was good meeting you.
Sir, thank you for the advice.
Yes, sir. Good meeting you.
You want me to pull the shop truck out and put that in the back?
No, it'll be all right. They left the gate open for you. They called me. Let me get my stuff out of there.
And my stuff.
Huh? Okay. All right, buddy. We're going to go. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Charlie.